go ahead and get the meeting started. First item on the agenda is approval of the March 4th minutes. Has the board had a chance to review the minutes? I did notice one item that looked like it was cut off. I'm sorry. On page 3 on the motion. It didn't have the vote number on it.
Oh, okay, yes, I will get that fixed.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and make that motion, Jim? As amended. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Second item on the agenda, consider a zoning variance for Jumpstart, 1608 East First Street. Justin, you want to lead us through that?
Yep, this is, the request is to construct an addition to the existing building with a 10-foot rear setback off of East Second Street. The requirements for legal publication and notification have been met. The following are staff applicant comments based on standards for granting variances. A, explain how the variance request arises from such conditions which is unique to the property in question and which is not ordinarily found in the same zone or district and is not created by an action or actions of the property owner or the applicant. The applicant commentary, C2 district has a 25-foot setback line along 2nd Street, and I'm requesting it to be reduced to a 10-foot setback for a building expansion. B, explain how the granting of the variance will not adversely affect the rights of adjacent property owners or residents. Most of the neighboring businesses appear to have the same setback issues. I feel this request will not have any adverse effect on any of the adjacent properties. C, explain how the strict application of the provisions of the zoning regulation of which variance is requested will constitute unnecessary hardship upon the property owner represented in the application. Applicant commentary, the proposed building expansion will allow for additional floor space inside, therefore not allowing additional products to be sold to future customers. D, explain how the variance desired will not adversely affect the public health, safety, morals, order, convenience, prosperity, or general welfare. Applicant commentary, the building expansion is along the north side of the existing building where most of the utilities enter. I feel this request will not have any effect on the items listed above. E, explain how the variance desired will not be opposed to the general spirit and intent of the zoning regulations. Applicant commentary, the proposed building expansion will take place in an area of minimal use and while following the other zoning building regulations. A variance cannot be granted if even one of the above conditions is not met. Variances are not for correcting mistakes for the cause of property to come into non-compliance with a particular code requirement. Variances are not for situations where complying with the particular code requirement is inconvenient or more expensive. If the variance is approved, the applicant owner will be allowed to construct an addition to the existing building with a 10-foot rear setback off of East 2nd Street. The attachments are as followed. It is recommended that the Planning Commission can either approve, deny, or reduce the variance request.
Is someone from the applicant here? You want to come up? State your name and address, please.
My name is Phil Neer. My wife and I are the owners of Jumpstart Convenience Store Chain. We live in Andover.
Okay.
We applied for this so that we could expand our business to better serve our customers. The building that we have is one of the smaller stores that we have, and we've been in desperate need for a long time, to be able to handle the products that we need for our customers. So with the competitive environment that we have across the street now, we feel like it's necessary to add more products and more space so we can better serve the community. So that's our intent. 2nd Street doesn't carry a lot of traffic. It's not going to be a visual block to the community or to the traffic. We feel that it's going to do nothing but improve the community. So that's our hope and our intention is to better serve the community, to be competitive, and we want to do everything we can to be a good community sponsor and be competitive in the environment that we're in.
Cool. Thank you. Any questions? You can go ahead. There might be some questions.
Okay.
Any questions for Phil?
I don't.
I had a couple. I don't know if you can answer them. Regarding utilities along Second Street, do we know where the utilities are? Were those surveyed? I noticed there was a survey done, but
Yeah, they were surveyed, and what we're going to do won't affect any of the,
well, specifically gas, is there a gas line along the south side? Is there a sewer on the?
If there is gas line or whatever, it'd have to be within
Within the right of way?
within the right of way, otherwise we would have seen easements that would have been there for that line. But yeah, I'm assuming wherever utilities are entering into the building, they'll have to adjust, gas, electric, communications, all of that will have to, because I think the north side of that building is where all their
yeah, that's where the
utilities
electricity
come
comes
into.
in.
Yeah, and there's
So, yeah,
electric,
that'll-
I saw there's a power pole, a utility pole just north of the
There's
building.
water there as
Yeah.
well.
And I saw 2 hydrants over there too. Yeah, so I assume the water line's on that side.
That's
It
just
is.
a lot of services that'll have to be adjusted because of
Yeah.
the addition.
Well, the concern is moving a building reducing the setback and moving it closer to where there's gas or water, and not sure where the sewer is. And also the electric, having
Sewer
electric.
is on the north side of East Second
It's on the
Street.
north side?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like the pole with the transformers on it's directly north of, it looks like directly north of where the addition would be.
Yes, that's correct.
Will the dumpsters be moved just even further out? Is there any
No,
restrictions?
they're going to put them, the drawings, the intent was to put them to the east end of the property and have them so they're not in congestion with the flow of the traffic.
Thank you.
The question I would have, probably specific to Evergy, is what the separation between the poles and, especially with transformers, and a structure can be. And also, another question would be if Evergy would ever want to move away from the road, because those poles are pretty close to the road, then they would even get closer to the building. If they'd move it to like the right-of-way line, then they would be getting closer to, within 10 feet of the building then. So I'd have concerns with that from my end about just what the separation requirement would be with Evergy. And the whole question is because they were there first, and then if we're reducing the setback, then that creates some concerns from my end, so.
Okay.
Just throwing that out.
Yeah,
So
I
figured
don't
you
have an
hadn't
answer to that.
Yeah, I figured you hadn't talked to Evergy.
No,
But
no.
But there's still a utility easement
Correct.
that
Currently,
would
they
not be
there.
infringed upon by the
They're,
building.
yeah, they're within the right of way, I assume, yeah.
Right, okay.
Does everyone have a copy of the survey?
We do.
It's in our packet. Thank you.
If you look, I show the curb and gutter on there, which is kind of a triple line, just right underneath the word Second Street. That's the curb and gutter. Then the heavier black line that has the north 890430 east, 200 feet. That's the property line. So they've got, I don't have a scale, or I'd tell you somewhat a scale distance, but this is 1 inch equals 30 feet. So that looks to me to be about maybe a half an inch. So from the back of curb to their property line is about 15 feet. So hopefully they can find some neutral ground between a foot or two behind the curb and 15 foot away to move, adjust, whatever, power pole. They're gonna wanna keep the power poles somewhat in line with the other power poles.
Yeah.
They won't wanna put a PI in it, but.
Yeah, but
it
if they,
appears there's room to
at some
adjust.
point, if they would do a road widening or something there, they could want to move to the south line of that right away to get close, then they'd be closer to the building.
Right.
Yeah, and another question, and we didn't come to talk about this, but since you asked that question, I'll ask this. Is Second Street even a viable street through there any longer? It's
That's
kind
a
of
good question.
It's kind of a mess
That's
through there, actually.
I actually wondered that too, honestly,
Yeah.
but Suzanne's not here, so I can't ask her that.
I don't see us widening Second Street in any
Yeah,
future.
No,
or
no.
even, I spent 8 years on the Kansas Highway Commission as an appointed commissioner, and, one of our efforts was to take streets and highways out when we could, and take state highways off the KDOT tax rolls. And, I look at that street as a taxpayer, and I say, why is that street even there?
Yeah, well,
And-
just like Main Street here. taking that, you know, KDOT,
Yeah.
the maintenance of
Yeah.
Main Street here is
You
KDOT.
know, and so as commissioners of Newton, I would look at that as, you know, does it behoove the city to re-asphalt that street in the future, to put new curb and gutters or whatever it is there, because it's not a the street's not used very much. So things like that, I think if we want to look at the electric pole issue, I think the bigger issue is that street even worth having there? What does it serve? What is the purpose of it? You know, all the businesses there feed off of other streets. It could feed off of the side streets on each side of it. So, you know, is it viable? And so, but that's not what we're here for tonight, but I only bring that up
Yeah.
because of the electric pole question.
I appreciate that question, because I was actually thinking, I wonder if that road really needs to be there for access to,
Yeah. Maybe the city wants to sell it to us, we can build a store on top of it.
So maybe it's,
start the negotiation. Are there any other questions for Phil?
I appreciate you looking at this and thinking about helping our business. And
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Sir, could I just get your name?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm Raymond Britton with Alpha Land Surveys, 102 East 4th Avenue, Hutchinson, Kansas.
Thank you.
Okay, we will go ahead and open a public hearing for this. Anyone from the public here to speak to this issue? Guess not. We'll close the public hearing. Okay, commission, any thoughts, comments?
Did any of the neighbors say anything?
Haven't heard from anybody.
Yeah, didn't figure you would. Just thought I'd ask.
yeah, that's all I wondered too. Is anybody else have an issue with it?
And if Aubrey were to go back to the, you can see, well, go back.
Oh, sorry.
That one. You can see that the business to the west also has the addition to the north, just like Jumpstart's requesting.
Yeah.
So they'd be basically identical.
Yeah.
Both building setbacks are the same and they have their addition.
So the process for the building code, would they have to go through, like, my concern with Evergy, getting approval for a structure that close to transformers and a pole?
Yes, when they submit their building permit, that would go to you.
So we wouldn't have to have that contingent?
Correct.
Any approval
Nope,
contingent?
that will go to Evergy with their application.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay. That's all I have.
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, old business. I did have one item we talked about last time, the comp plan.
Yes.
But since we don't.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your business here.
We brought that up last time, but we talked like the next time we had a full presence that we would talk about that, so I figured we'd table that again. Maybe we put that for
This book here?
the comp plan from last.
Okay.
that big, thick.
Yeah, the Renewton.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's, I brought it wondering if we were doing it this time,
Oh.
so
Yeah.
good deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
unless
No,
anyone has
no,
any
I'm not ready.
comments.
No.
Okay, okay.
Actually, Mike, if you,
Yeah.
if I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
when I made a mention of reviewing the comp plan, I didn't mean to task everyone to read all 250 pages, although it's a great plan, and to be honest, I'm not through it all. But
Did
I,
you read through it?
Not all yet, that's why I thought, boy, I hope we're not doing all of it, because I haven't read all of it.
I have a recommendation. Throw it out if you want to do something else. So, I got through page 92, and as I started reading, I realized that the community vision, it's broken up into 8 chapters, well, 9, but 8 of them have substance. The first one is the vision, mission, goals. Then you have your programming areas, and your last chapter is your goals. So perhaps, since it is a 20-year comp plan, we stick to leaving the main part of it as it is and update the goals depending on where we're at. Because, like, for example, the community vision and the values, those are still going to remain the same. There may be tweaks, but at this point, I was thinking maybe looking at the goals and seeing there are some that we've already accomplished. There are some that we're in the middle of, and there are some that we can just probably take off and maybe
Yeah.
do
That was
something
my
new.
thought. We've accomplished a
And
couple
that's
things
page
on here.
93 to 99. That's going to take a lot of thought, and it might take referring back to some of the chapters to get some context, to get some, I know for me, it's helping me understand where we stand and how, where we're at today. That's just an idea, a thought, rather than, because if we go through this entire thing one by one
Yeah.
without the official update, which I hope to do in the next 24 months, I think that might take about a year if we do it one chapter at a time. That'd take probably eight or 9 months.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more we stick to the goals, but feel
Yeah,
free to,
Yeah, I was thinking, like, based on discussion at last meeting, that you kind of want some input of
Yes.
things we think might be needed or desired
yes,
to look at, and that's kind of where
That
you're
would be
getting
the
at.
goals.
Yeah,
the goals.
Could we have like a spreadsheet breakdown
Sure, absolutely.
where you've got the goal and you've got, one of the best ones I ever saw was, green light meant we've accomplished.
Yeah.
Yellow meant working on it, we're not there. And the red was, we've done nothing on this yet.
Got it.
We're not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
And that was one of the best ones that I had seen.
sure.
And then, if we have areas that we have reached all of our goals, then are there new areas for that section that we may want to look at?
Sure. Would it then make sense perhaps at the next meeting, we have that spreadsheet and we review that spreadsheet?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love that, yeah.
And yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
That'd be
that sounds
great.
good.
Yeah, okay, cool. That was easy.
Yep.
I thought there would take some convincing, because
Oh,
this is a
no.
great document. Don't get me wrong, it's a great document. I just don't know that, I will tell you, the next one will not be this lengthy. It's important stuff. I think we can deliver the same message in a more condensed manner.
I've looked
From the
at it.
person who read a lot of Cliff Notes at Bishop Carroll?
That's what we're after. Yeah, I've looked at a
Ditto.
lot of comp
Ditto.
plans, and that one was pretty well put together.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
just
a
a lot of.
Yeah, it's a
information.
lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So I think maybe centering our focus on the page 93 to 99. And actually, do you have everyone's email address? Okay. How about I send that spreadsheet to you so that you can maybe start
That would be perfect.
brainstorming before we meet?
that'd be
I'll send it
great.
to you within the week.
Yep.
It's just a matter of putting this in Excel format. I'm sure it exists somewhere, so we will find it. It's cool. Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, any other old business?
Just real quick, do we have any idea where the county is at with their comprehensive plan? If that thing got put on, that was supposed to be done a year ago. It got put on hold.
Last time
Is
I
anybody
talked-
here where it's
Well,
at?
last time I talked to Karen, they were still in the works of working on it, so that was
Hey, Dad.
within the last month, so.
Yeah.
Is it new or like an update?
An
Like
update.
an update to the
It
plan?
would be an updated one, but it'd be nice to kind of see where they're at with their goals on their comprehensive plan and then see how ours could help fit into that. If they're updating it, just,
I can
just to see.
dig. I can dig a little.
It's been put on hold, it's been around, they've been working on this for a long time.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arlen.
Any other old business, Justin?
I don't have anything to
Okay, any new business?
say.
Cool. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.